Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not. Welcome back to the Goosebumps reviews, and we're talking about Stitches and Die. Yes, one of my favorites. P. Sorry. One of my favorites from back in the day. The book is not bad either, that I remember, but yeah. I didn't write them down, but there are just a couple differences that I want to throw out there. But the most interesting thing to me about this episode is the cast. So our main man, Greg Banks. I don't know the story of this. It's Greg Banks finds a special camera that when you take people's pictures, bad stuff happens. Very similar to an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, which came out before this, by the way. But the casting here is interesting. Greg Banks, the main character, is played by Ryan Gosling. That's right. I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be at 10. Yes, that Ryan Gosling. And then you also have two bullies, because of course there is, played by Dan Petronijevic, who I know as Bull from the American Pie movies Naked Mile and Beta House. He was also in Spiral recently. And Christian Tessier, who is from Supernatural. He was in the Bad Day at Black Rock episode. You know, I lost my shoe. That episode. But as it pertains to this, he was in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Tale of the Curious Camera. Yep. Interestingly, that episode was also directed by Ron Oliver, who directed this episode. That episode also starred Richard McMillan as the photographer who gives the camera to Finch from American Pie. There's another American Pie connection, I guess. And here, he's Spidey. Yes. And then Ryan Gosling would also appear in Are You Afraid of the Dark, the episode Tale of Station 109.1, which was also directed by Ron Oliver. We ain't got the connections everywhere. So, this episode starts off at this. The three kids are behind a fence watching this warehouse, and there's this creepy guy named Spidey, who is just Richard McMillan in a gray wig and sunglasses. When I was a kid, he was creepy. Now I'm sitting there going, this is a wig. What? And he runs out, and they're cracking jokes or something, and then they decide to go in and look. And Greg finds the camera in a secret compartment, which he does in the book. But in the book, it's a haunted house, not a warehouse building that Spidey lives in. He finds it, and I guess there's another character in the book who gets the picture taken first, and Bird's picture is later in the book during a basketball game, but the basketball game's not in this, so Bird gets his picture taken on the stairs, and when he takes the picture, it is... By the way, his best friends are Bird and Sherry. Yeah. The actor who played Bird, you probably see him in a couple other things, Canadian-wise, but, you know, and I don't remember Sherry from anything else, but, I don't like the sequel episode to this. The book was also kind of stupid, because I read the book, the second, Stitches and Die Again, and unbeknownst to me till about 20 minutes ago, I didn't know there was actually a third one, Say Cheese and Die something. There's a third one, part of the Goosebumps Horrorland collection, so I didn't know there was a third one. You made an episode on it, so, oh, I do have the book. Right here. I was looking through the stacks to find it, and it's right here. That's right, because I looked for the picture. I thought I had the book. Yeah. It's a good one. Book and episode. So, then Spidey comes... So, the picture he takes of Bird... So, after he takes the picture, Bird... The banister on the stairs gives way, and Bird falls. And when they look at the picture... It shows him falling, but Greg took the picture before he fell. And they just throw it off the fluke. Spidey comes back and the kids run off. Greg accidentally taking the camera with him. I don't know if that's in the episode, in the book. pet gray mice. I don't know. But it just feels like quick riding through. Oh, he accidentally grabbed it because he was scared. And despite the fact that Spidey gets all upset about this, not once does he attempt to go after them. Like, at one point after Sherry disappears, it's implied that he kidnapped her. And I know that the camera, because later he takes her picture and she's not in the picture. I know that they just go with she's disappeared, right? She disappeared. So he comes home with the camera and takes a picture of his brother with the car, and the car is the thing that gets is the victim here, as it shows it totaled. And then they're like, because it's a new car, and they're like, hey, let's go for a ride. And then the picture that he has flies out the window, and he doesn't get in a car accident. And so I'm rewatching this, going, oh, because it went out the window, there is no car accident. It got destroyed or something, because that's what they find out later. If you destroy the pictures, then what happens gets reversed. But no, the dad still gets in the accident, and he's fine, but the car is totaled. And I think the picture depicts that, because I think if he had just let the go the way, they would have been fine, because the dad doesn't die or anything. Oh, this is a kids TV show. We'll discuss that later. We're talking about the ending of the episode versus the one in the book. But but he just gets like a bruised, broken leg or something, and the car is totaled. And so they show the picture where the brother is fine and the car is totaled. So I don't know. And then there's a scene that I'm watching, and it doesn't make any sense. So Greg and Bird are talking about the camera, and they're walking down the street, and here comes the bullies, right? And the lead bully, Christian Tessier, is like, hey, you got my camera. And like, because there's no school scenes in this one, so these guys just come out of nowhere, because we need bullies, I guess. They're in a book, so whatever. And Greg then grabs the camera, and they run off and end up jumping over a fence, and just happened to land in Sherry's yard. She's like, you guys could have used the gate. And they're like, where's the fun in that? They don't say that they were chased by the bullies. They just, where's the fun in that? And she's like, oh good, you have the camera, take my picture. And he's a little iffy, especially after the car's been totaled, knowing that it hasn't been totaled yet. He's still worried about it, but he has no proof. He's trying to convince them they don't believe him. And when he tries to tell her, she's like, just shut up and take my picture. So he does, and in the picture, it's just the tree. She's not there. And then the brother shows up, and he comes running in, which makes me think, was he chasing them all the way down the street as they're being chased by the bullies? Because it's weird. Because it's only a couple minutes after they take her picture. Then they come in and take her picture, and he shows up. It's like, so is he just following them down the street? He's there to report that their dad got in a car accident. He's fine. The car is totaled. Yeah. So after what happened? So then that night, cops show up, and here's an interesting fact. One of the cops is played by Scott Speedman. Yes, who would go on to be in The Strangers and Triple X State of the Union. That's Scott Speedman. I didn't know he was Canadian until I was looking this up. So, yeah, and this whole scene with the cops. Hello, are you Greg Banks? You know Sherry Walker? Yeah, I do. She's one of my best friends. When was the last time you saw her? This afternoon at her house. You know where she is now? Probably at her house. No, she's not. She's gone missing. We don't know what happened to her. I knew it. You knew it? You knew what? What do you mean you knew it? It's all just weird the way they're talking. Oh, well, I knew there had to be something wrong. Why? How did you know? Because you guys are here. And then he's like, so they're like, what happened last time you saw her? Or I was at her house, I took a picture. Can we see the picture? And then I think it's a joke because of how they're portrayed in this episode. It's a joke because it's just the tree, right? So the next day, Greg's all angry. He's like, basically, screw this camera. He rips the pictures up and then throws the camera, but there's not a scratch on the camera. So Greg becomes convinced that Spidey must have kidnapped Sherry so they can bring the camera back. And I think that would have been a better way to do this, seeing as he's all upset they took the camera, but he does absolutely nothing to try to get it back at all through this episode. Like, at all. I don't know. But, yeah, so they decide to take it back. Well, Greg does. Bird says no. And as he's taking it back, it's at night now for some reason. And Sherry is there. And she says, that she don't know, she doesn't remember what happened, but then she was just back in her yard. And Bird told her that he was taking the camera back, but he didn't come with. So she goes with him, and they go to take it back, and Spidey shows up, and he says that he invented the camera. Doesn't say why or how, but it takes bad pictures. A better explanation for the bad luck pictures in the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, it's a gremlin, but here's just evil camera. Here's another difference from the book. In the book, it's just a regular looking camera, where here it's some futuristic looking thing. And here's the major difference, is the end of the book here. In the book, they accidentally take Spidey's picture, and it causes him to die of fright. But you can't do that with a kid's show. So here, they take his picture on purpose, and he gets sucked into the camera. And they run off, leaving the camera behind. And then you see what's not very good special effects of him in the camera going, help me, let me out, get me out. And then you should just ended the episode there, because this last part has never made any sense to me. Now, the older I get, it's just not going to make any sense to me. So it goes to commercial and comes back, I guess. And the bullies have somehow found the warehouse. It's like, oh, they thought they could hide the camera from me. Here, take my picture. So it takes the picture, and Spidey is released because of that. And they're just looking at the picture and they're laughing at it. Did they not did no one tell them it's supposed to be bad? Like, really, these bullies just think something like that is funny. I don't know, but the episode ends there, and I was just like, I don't know what this was supposed to be, but I don't like it. I do not like it, Sam. I don't get it. Like, I understand you couldn't kill him off, fine. But leaving him trapped in the camera would make a lot of sense, you know? But, and I'm not exactly sure if the sequel book was out when they did this, probably. But the issue might be, well, if we're going to adapt the sequel, Spidey's not in the sequel because in the book he died. So if we adapt the sequel, we can't just have it where they have the camera and he takes a picture and nothing happens with Spidey. So they did this, but then that still leaves it open to where's Spidey in the second one then if he's out and going around. I don't know. I'm going to give this 4.5 curly skulls out of 5. It's really good. The half a skull is for the confusion, but I still love this episode. It's great. It really is. And it's pretty well done episode, you know? And when I find out it's directed by the same guy who did Station 109.1 and Curious Camera, 2 of the best episodes from Are You Afraid of the Dark, in my opinion, I can see why it's well done. And the story itself from the book is also not that bad. You know, the key to a good Goosebumps episode is have a solid plot for the book to translate into an episode that works. So, yeah. Well, it's time to wrap up season 1 of the episodes that I have. I don't remember what the next one is. I actually think that might be the last. Let's look, shall we? No. I'm looking. I know that the first one I'm covering for season 2 is Attack of the Mutants, so obviously not. Maybe this was the last of season 1 that I'm doing. How this goes. I think it might be. Actually, I can't think of any other ones that. I think it might be. So, yeah, I think this brings an end to season 1 of my coverage, the episodes that I have. Obviously, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do ones if I can find them on YouTube. But, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Say Cheese and Die? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.